suggested we get together is the strategic plan. I got an email from the county, maybe you got it as well, inviting towns and municipalities within the county to comment on their strategic plan, which caused me to realize that I'm not in a discussion on that either. I don't think you are. And then I looked at the charter, and the charter in section 3-10, C close parens, under council says to provide for the future of the city, council shall maintain a strategic plan which prioritizes goals for the city council and establishes measurable outcomes. The plan process shall consider public input. Council shall provide the plan and goals to the mayor for consideration in the development of the municipal administrative budget. And then a few pages later, under mayor, it says on 4-40, parens B, close parens 1, close parens, the mayor shall maintain and submit to the citizens a strategic plan that prioritizes goals for the city. You're going to have a plan that prioritizes for the city council. I'm to do one for the city and establishes measurable outcomes. The strategic plan shall include the comprehensive plan and a 5-year capital improvements plan for municipal needs, which kind of begins to get the stormwater right up other things. The plan process shall consider public input. The plan and goals shall be used in the development of the municipal administrative budget. So the charter kind of is not clear on do you have a plan? Do I have a plan? And in the meantime, Bill Hoskins, chair of the chamber, I think in September, sent over an email to all of us, offering the chamber's participation with us in the county and other stakeholders in proceeding on a strategic plan. Now, is that a third plan? Or you know where I'm going with that. So I'm just interested in your thoughts on how to proceed. It's kind of like stormwater and other things, which is in the day-to-day operation of the city. It's hard to step aside and get into these bigger issues if we don't specifically plan for those. So what do you all think we should do? I'd like to have one plan, obviously. So
before this charter change, there was a strategic plan, staff produced, council approved. Now that we have two plans, we have no staff to produce a strategic plan, to hold public meetings and those kinds of things. And it certainly seems like a waste of resources for us to have two plans. So if we could work collaboratively on a single plan that would satisfy the charter, I think that's the way to go. You have the resources to do that, and we could certainly have input and participate.
how do we do that specifically, Bernie? Should a couple of you maybe meet with me? Shall we ask?
If we take the current strategic plan and look at it as a starting point,
Okay.
that would be
So
between somebody in your staff or a couple of us.
Okay. Or could it be? Go ahead.
Well, I was just saying, sort of do our areas of expertise. We have the land planning in that area, that we sort of look at the strategic plan that falls in that area, and then you look at your part, and then we come together, you know, sort of each look at our, because it says strategic plan for the city council, which is a little confusing in my words. Does it mean what we oversee, we do that strategic plan, and you do the others, and then we bring them together? I'm not quite sure the wording of that.
Well, in my mind, your plan should be more than just for you all. It should
That's
be
what I'm thinking.
Notwithstanding the language.
Exactly. So it's like I'm not quite sure what the goal is in the charter.
But we have certain responsibilities, and I think that we should. I think that we do have some separate goals that we should have as a city council, and then we can add into the big one. I know that our chief of staff, Amy Cox, had begun on that months ago. She had sent that to all of us. She had asked for feedback. I believe was given some. She has added it, and I don't think that, again, it's been able to be followed through by the rest of us to complete that. But, you know, Bernie mentioned something, and this has got to be known, that we have 3.5 staff members for city council. We have a total budget for 9 individuals that is only $9,000 more than your mileage budget, sir. And we don't have a lot of institutional support. And so if we're going to add a strategic plan on top of land planning, on top of the utilities, which I believe we're going to discuss today, my opinion, we don't have the proper tools to perform well.
Let me ask you, Lisa. Up until June 7th, the city council had 1 FTE, Dean, according to Lionel Rivera at least. He said that Marty was assigned almost exclusively to him. Now, I don't know that, but that's what he said. So council had 1 FTE, you now have 4. You got Marty Devine, and Scott and Jan asked me to leave her up there because of her institutional knowledge and her performance, and I said, that's fine with me. Scott and Jan asked me to add a coordinator. We had that discussion about, and I understand that by not having, in the past, a city manager at the council meetings all the time, not doing that going forward, because we couldn't commit staff time, that makes it difficult for council to get timely information, including during the council meetings. So I agreed to establish your council coordinator position. Amy Cox is filling that. Now, Tim Burke was in the communications department half-time, I think, and I believe, Jan, you asked to move him over to report to council. I said, fine with me. Now, you've now added another half-time legislative communications person. Is that Tim or is that somebody different?
No, that's Tim.
So now you have 4 FTEs. I'm not saying that's a lot, but just looking at it candidly, you've gone from 1 FTE to 4. Now, if that's not enough, let's have more conversation. You have to have the ability to get things done. I appreciate that. I certainly have not. I don't think I've declined to support anything you want to do in that respect. What I'm trying to get to is how do we move this strategic plan forward? Do I ask Steve Cox on that? And then
in the past, Mr. Mayor, we maybe only had 1 FTE, but we had city staff. We had finance. We had folks who did the strategic plan for us. Parks ran the mayor's 100 teams. So we had a lot of support from city staff that now we don't have the ability to task city staff. So we need to figure out a way to get staff support because they have the expertise. They know how to do the strategic plan, for instance.